Hey, everybody. Welcome to Find the Funny with me, Lisa Alvarado. So Sarah's here. Sarah is my producer, editor. Let's just jump right in, you guys, because this week I'm going to need your help with finding the funny in a situation that happened to me. Well, this is my mom, Nellie.
Yay.
Say, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to my daughter, what?
Podcast.
Podcast.
Podcast. I know, podcast. That's a weird name. So I'm doing a show. It's a PG show on a ship. And there's children in the audience, which is, I hate that. There should never be kids in a comedy room. I mean, unless they're watching a clown or a juggler or some sort of entertainer that does physical comedy, it's just not for children, even if we don't swear. So I try to do kid type jokes when I know that there's children in the audience, something that will appeal to the parents and the children. And this is what one very nice lady wrote to me after the show. Hello, Lisa. Oh, by the way, her name is Karen-olyn. She entitles it Your Show Last Night. Hello, Lisa. My friend Karen and I, Karen, and I attended your earlier comedy show on the, and she puts it in quotes, blank celebrity ship. I was greatly offended by your talk of spanking kids. And then she says, and how it was funny. No punctuation there. It's just the end of a sentence. I'm assuming because the next word starts with a capital letter. The rule I have is you have to spell correctly and you have to use proper grammar.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to take the time to insult me, please at least do it like you look like you have a second grade education or above. That's my rule. Okay, next sentence. There is nothing funny about spanking kids these days. I think she should try it. It's really fun. She says, this is abusive behavior. Okay. And should not be made fun of to the audience. Okay. I do hope you'll think about this. Oh, I've thought about it. And cancel this segment out of your act.
Wow.
Thanks much, Karen-olyn.
Wow.
Yeah, she wrote to me to actually take one of my bits out of my set. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so look, Karen-olyn, if you were offended by me doing spanking jokes in my PG show, like I think the joke that I say, which by the way, I would say 100 comedians do spanking jokes. I try to make mine unique. I try to have a little bit of a different spin on it. So I asked the audience, who spanks kids? And 80% of them always applaud. I mean, unless they're white. I'm Latina. We spank children. And the other thing is, so if the majority of the audience is on your side, you can talk about it. Like everybody's pretty much in agreement. So my joke is just that I think on ships, we should be able to spank each other's kids. And that's just logical, because you cannot reach your kid when they're running down one of those long hallways. All you have to do is just nod at another parent and they go like, I got you. And they just stick out a leg. Problem solved. See, even my editor thinks this is hilarious. So the audience has this huge reaction. It gets a really good laugh. It's not that big a deal. I'm not saying slap your kid in the face. I'm not saying demean them. I'm not saying do these abusive things that she's accusing me of. This woman did her homework because she didn't come up to me after the show. She didn't even narc to the comedy club manager or the cruise director. She literally took time out of her day to write me an email to tell me how offensive this was and that I need to take this out of my act. Okay, so Karen-olyn, if you wanted me to take it out of my act, you should have told me it was hacky. I would have agreed with you and I would take it out of my act. That to me makes sense. If you told me I was talking about a hack premise, you kind of got me there, okay? Because a lot of comics talk about this.
Right.
But when I'm doing a PG show, I need filler.
Right.
I need jokes that are going to fill a PG show. And then when I'm doing my adult shows, I can do whatever I want. So if you're going to go to a PG show and get offended about a spanking joke, Karen-olyn, please never go to a comedy club. And your best friend, his name's Karen. That's awesome. Like I couldn't have written this. I mean, it's just so funny to me. This is where I need your advice. Most of the time, I actually don't respond. I don't respond to hate mail. I don't respond to mean things that people put on Instagram and Facebook and all the social medias. People are so mean. On YouTube, people will watch my videos and just comment that I should get laid and weird stuff like that. And I'm in total agreement. I should, but don't post it online for everybody to see that. So this is what I write back to Karen-olyn.
Karen-olyn.
Yeah. Hey, Karen-olyn. Thanks for writing to me. I love getting fan mail. The fact that you actually took the time to research me, find my website, pay for Wi-Fi on a ship, and sacrifice your vacation on a booze cruise just to tell me what jokes I should take out of my PG show. One word: generous. Thank you. I'm so flattered that you think I have the power to get a whole audience to do what I say from the stage.
Right.
If that were true, I would be a billionaire.
Right.
Parents decide on whether they will spank their kids or not way before they ever meet me. Also, some parents don't spank their kids. Instead, they use their words as a sword.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Leaving a much deeper scar.
Good for you.
They use judgment, ridicule, and verbal bullying. They might even do it in an email. Maybe what they should do is give the benefit of the doubt or ask a question and truly listen with an open mind and heart. I mean, what do I know? I've been spanking my son since he could walk. And he's just a rocket scientist. But maybe if I had spanked him more often, he'd be the president. I want you to be happy in life. So please never go to a comedy club again.
Oh, wow.
Comedy is an art form best enjoyed by people who can laugh at themselves and all the absurdities of life. Comedians tell jokes. Jokes are not facts. They are a viewpoint or an opinion about a certain topic. Comedians are not pastors, priests, politicians, or prophets, okay?
Right.
It is not our job to teach people. It's our job to make them laugh. And I think the best comedians challenge people's thinking and push audiences out of their comfort zone and make them laugh so hard that they pee just enough. Just enough so an angel can get their wings. That is precious.
I love it.
So, and in closing, give my love to Karen. Ironically, both of your names are so similar, but yours starts with a capital C.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway, have a great summer. Stay sweet. Your favorite comedian.
Oh, that's precious.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. That was really well done.
Thank you. I think that I got my point across. And if she's smart and has a sense of humor, hopefully she'll laugh in a couple parts and also felt challenged.
Yeah, because I was going to, if you're okay with me.
No, please.
I was just thinking when you said the whole thing about words and how true that really is. Because actually, I mean, my mom did believe in spanking. And she, when we did something wrong, we were, punished that way.
Yeah.
But it was more so the bullying and the verbal abuse that I got even, I don't want to say my mother because she'll probably be listening. No, she
Her
won't.
other mother.
My other mother. But I mean, she might not even mean to. People, but people say the meanest, cruelest things.
Yeah.
And that is more hurtful in many ways than being properly disciplined by a spanking.
Right.
And she's just putting a lump sum on like her, like you said, her opinion, and
Right.
she's like, my opinion is the law.
Right. Exactly. Like she's saying not only, okay, there's one thing, there's different levels to an audience member not liking a joke. There's one of like, oh, I don't like it, but I'm going to listen to the rest of the set.
Right.
Oh, this is better. Okay, this one I didn't like too much, but overall, I like this show. There's another level where people are like, oh, I'm offended. And they just start crossing their arms and they get all pissy during your show. You have that kind of person too, where they just kind of disconnect or give you an attitude. The thing that I really hate is when people go, ugh, like that sort of thing in a crowd when a performer is going through their set drives me nuts. Please don't do that. It's just laughter or don't laugh.
Yeah.
You know, but doing the that whole thing, I just want to go out there and choke that person. Another level of someone not liking a joke is that they get offended. They choose to get offended. Let me clarify, because offense is a choice. If it wasn't a choice, every single person in the audience would be offended. Okay. It is linked. Whatever that word or subject, like scratched a scab that you already had.
Yeah.
That's actually not my fault.
Right.
I didn't cause that pain in your life. I didn't cause whatever abuse or someone hurting your feelings did in the past. I'm just doing jokes. So for you to pin it to me, I feel is actually pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Like, that's offensive to me. And yes, I'm choosing to take offense of that. And then there's another level, not just I didn't like your comedy or don't prefer this kind of comedy. I'm going to tell somebody else. I'm going to make it hard for you. That's a level I absolutely hate. The best thing about Karen-olyn is she wrote to me.
Right.
To my knowledge, I don't know if she went to my bosses or she complained to the cruise line, which could get a comedian or an entertainer fired. And that's what people don't understand. When you post things or you tell our bosses, imagine me walking into your house or your work and going, yeah, I don't like how you just filed those papers. Hey, Charlie, fire this asshole.
Right.
You know what? I have no right to do that. Maybe you're having a bad day or I just don't agree with how you did that. But you can still do it. Why would I get you fired from a job? I don't understand that logic. People get off on hurting other people. Even though if she had gone to my bosses, they know crazy. You know what I mean? They would have been like, okay, oh, you're
Right.
You're offended by a spanking joke. Maybe if you had been spanked, you wouldn't be so fucking offended. Like if someone had just slapped her a couple times in life. Then during the same cruise that I was working, there was a man that came up to me after my show with his wife. He was Latino. I do some Latino jokes. I sell a hat that says Latina AF. Okay. And people love it. They buy it. And this guy said, "You're not Latino." And I go, kind of think I am.
Yeah.
Are you holding my birth certificate? Have you met my parents?
Yeah.
You know, like they were born in South America. And he's like, exactly. They were born in South America. You're not Latina. And I go, no, I am Latina, because if you look up the definition of Latino, it is everybody that's Spanish speaking that was born below North America. So that's Mexico, that's South America. Spanish or Hispanic is Spain. And I know that.
Right.
And I know that people confuse it, and it's okay. I don't think that people maliciously try to, if someone called me Hispanic, do you think I'm going to throw a fucking temper tantrum?
Right.
Just the fact that you got it in the realm of Latino. Thank you. Thanks for trying.
Right.
Do not call me Latinx. I hate that.
Yeah.
Because we never assigned that. Latinos never made up Latinx. That was a white thing. So don't call us that. So he's like, you're up there and you're speaking to younger people, younger generations. They're listening to you and you're telling them that they're Latino. And I go, first of all, no, I'm not telling anybody that they're Latino. I'm saying that I am Latina.
Right.
Where are you getting, again, we are not pastors or
Yeah.
teachers up there. I'm not responsible for your education. What I'm responsible to do is just make you laugh, man. And if you weren't critiquing every single little fucking thing, you would be having a really good time.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just come up to me and go, hey, that one joke you did about this, I really liked that. How about the one or two jokes that you did like? Why don't you just think about that or compliment the comedian on that? But the one thing that rubbed you the wrong way or that you didn't agree with, all of a sudden, it's an offense and you need to tell that person. I'm like, dude, you know what's really offensive? Your cologne, okay? The way you wear your fucking hair. It's gross. Like, brush your teeth. I don't know. That's offensive. Like,
Right.
give me a legit, like, you had to actually wait in line to tell me that I'm fucked up for telling people that they're first of all, I didn't tell people they were Latino. I said that I am Latina, and I actually am. And that is the way I identify. Okay? I am Latina.
Exactly.
There's nothing. This guy was so upset. And I'm like, dude, you need to get an enema because something is really stuck up there.
Wow.
So usually when things like this happen to me, I try to just not say anything or say, okay, that's your opinion. I don't agree, but I understand that you have a different opinion, and that's okay. I say things like that because that's actually how I feel.
Right.
But when someone comes at me and actually tells me that I need to take some material that they didn't like or agree with out of my set, now we have an issue.
Right.
Because now you're telling me to do something to change who I am, what I do for a living for 23 years.
Right.
This what you've been doing for this many years in your craft, I'm telling you to change it because of me.
Right.
Because of what I think and what my opinion is. That's where she crossed the line. And that's why I wrote this beautiful letter to Karen-olyn, which I'm going to frame.
Right. I was also, it's very narcissistic.
Yeah.
It absolutely is because it's like, the whole world revolves around you and what you think.
Right. Exactly. And I don't think that it's a right or wrong thing. I think it is a very personal choice to discipline your children a certain way.
Yeah.
I think there is ways that are abusive with spanking and without spanking.
Right.
That we're in agreement with.
Yeah.
But it's all about the intent and the heart of the person doing it and why and how you're doing it. So there is no way that she knows my history and could tell me that I am a horrible, evil person. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. But it's really the entitlement that bothers me so much. It's just that you don't agree. It's not even a fact. It's not even like water is H2O.
Right.
Like you can't dispute that fact.
Right.
But spanking children is actually in the Bible.
Right.
Which she probably thumps. That's terrible because I really love the Bible too. But I mean, that's what people do is they take things from the Bible out of context and they make it extreme.
Right.
And then they take the one thing that they agree with and that's what they're going to hold as fact. Right.
Right.
That's the thing that drives me crazy. Like anti-abortion, like pro-lifers. I actually kind of agree with that. I if at all possible, keep the child. Mm-hmm. But I also don't think that the mother should die to give birth. I also think that we need to love women going through such a hard decision.
Right.
Right? Like, what if we embrace them instead of holding signs and throwing things at them and threatening them? Mm-hmm. You're saying value a life as you're chucking objects at people.
Yeah.
That is a life, isn't it? So that's the thing that bothers me about people that claim to have faith or be very religious. Don't take things out of context and hate others because God's first commandment was to love him first above all else. And then commandment number 2 is love your neighbor.
Right.
Like love others. Love others.
Right.
It's not judge. It's not tell them what to do. It's not, go to their show and fucking give them an attitude.
Right.
That's not in the Bible that I know of. So,
Right. And it is the whole perspective, like that people can take things out of the Bible and say, you see this, like this, but the whole rounded out story of what God is trying to say in the Bible is exactly that. Is
right.
to put love before everything.
Yeah.
And to put people and God even before yourself in terms of like thinking of like being considerate. Like, I don't know how like to me, I know that you give her value for actually commenting, which is good. But I feel like it's still cowardly that she would spend all this time to hunt you down so that she could write you.
That's true. I didn't even think about that part. She didn't come up to me.
It's a little cowardly. She's coming from a place of fear and anger and hate.
Right.
And that's not as much as people like to think that's the problem, right? With today's world is that we lead with our fear and our hate first.
Yes. Yeah. That's like literally if she had come at me and said, hey, you know what? That spanking joke, it's totally hacky. I'd have been like, you got a point. You got a point. You got a point. And I would have been, if she would have asked me to take that out of my set, like saying like, Lisa, I think you're better than that. I'd have been like, you're right.
Or even if she came up to you and said, like, even like, this is my opinion,
Right.
So like in a conversational way instead of like an attacking way.
Yes. Or, hey, Lisa, what did you mean by that?
Yeah.
When you said spanking kids, do you mean like when you're angry? Do you mean like when they just do something little? Are you talking about slapping them in the face? Like, what do you mean by spank? And I would have explained myself.
Right.
Yes, of course. Smack them in the face with a spatula if you have one, because it leaves a really nice mark. It's very like those 3 lines. Oh, that is the best. I mean, come on, man. My kid's a well-adjusted rocket scientist, and I spanked my son. I spanked him on the butt. I tried to always have a conversation about what he did wrong.
Yeah.
What better choices can you make the next time? And I didn't spank him for everything, just the things that were really major, like smiling and stuff. So that's just what loving parents do, okay? That's just how you do it, Alvarado style. We have a similar opinion on this because, you've seen when I do shows what people say to me, what they'll, it's unbelievable the things that people will come up and tell you afterwards.
Right. Like when we were watching Smartless, like the Smartless documentary.
Yes.
Like that's another perfect
fantastic podcast.
Yeah. And that was a perfect example too, because like here, there.
What was that comment? What did that lady say?
Well, she was upset because they had a guest that she didn't like. Right. So she was like, I still love you, but.
No, she said, I wouldn't have come if I knew that was going to be your guest.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is so rude.
Yeah.
I mean, because those 3 without a guest are very entertaining.
Fun and funny. Yeah, exactly.
And maybe if you had just listened to the guest, you would have learned some things. You would have grown a little bit. So they weren't a mainstream celebrity, A-list person.
Right.
But they still had something very interesting to add, which is why they had them on the show.
Right.
This is why I won't get celebrities on my show. I have Sarah on the show every week because I don't want your fucking emails, people. But all I'm saying is, first of all, out of curiosity, I do want to know, the parents out there, even if you're not a parent, write in the comments, are you for spanking children, especially if they're not your own, or because I am. I think we should. There are some really shitty kids out there.
I think that's a really good point, actually.
That's a really good point. If children knew that they were going to get it from one end or the other from other people, they would behave so well, even if their own parent was a shitty parent and didn't discipline. Right. And I'm not saying every parent has to spank. I'm not saying that, because there's some great parents that don't spank. They just have a different way of doing it, and it's still effective. Whatever you're doing, as long as you discipline. That's what I'm asking for.
Right.
Because I've been on way too many flights with these children who are not disciplined, where the parents expect you to discipline their children. Like the last flight I was on, there was a little girl. She was probably 2 years old enough to know better. She was in the front seat and her parents let her jump up and down facing me and screaming like I'm behind them. She was in front of me. Her parents put the kid in the middle seat that was empty. She's grabbing onto the seat, screaming in my face.
Wow.
And the parents weren't doing anything.
Exactly.
And then I go, really? Like so loud that her parents turned around. And then she's like, oh, get down. But you're not hearing this.
God.
You're not seeing how your child is acting in a public place
Yeah.
that's like enclosed. I can't get up and go to the cockpit and just be like, move over. There's a shitty kid out there. I can't do that. Like, I feel like if you're going to be a shit parent and you're going to affect everybody else's flight, you should be charged. Wouldn't it be awesome if we had something on our phone like Cash App or something that we're just like, cha-ching, $5. Cha-ching, they're still making noise.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Like that parent would have to buy everybody a shot on the plane that has to deal with that shit kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, see, there's the other thing. If Karen-olyn, or whatever. Karen-olyn.
Yeah.
If she just would have come up to you afterwards, that she would see that really, it's not so much the kid or like the spanking that is the issue that you're trying to express. It's the fact that kids need discipline and the parents are being shitty.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's actually really like you could take the spanking thing out of it essentially.
Exactly.
But you know, to make the point, you know.
And that's why people that laugh get it.
Right.
It's nowhere in there did I say abuse or hurt a child deeply.
Right.
Never did I say that in that. She took that. However she wanted to spin it in her head to cause this outrage.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, please, if you want a happy life, never go to a comedy club. But I mean it sincerely because you're going to pick apart what every comedian does that you don't agree with. And it's an art form. It's like walking into an art gallery and going, that sucks. I don't like the color red.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody doesn't like the color red. There's people that love the color red. Right. And this painting is beautiful.
Right. Exactly.
So what gives you the right to say, take that painting down? I don't like it.
Right.
Don't go in the fucking art gallery, Karen-olyn.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how you're going to make yourself miserable. Like, honestly, if you're looking for horrible, offensive, abusive things in anything, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
Whatever you concentrate on.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to laugh and you're open and you're just wanting to be entertained and have some of this heaviness lifted off of you from life, then a comedy club is the best place for you to be. So, I don't know. I hope she learned a lesson, and I will be giving out her email address and social security number after the show in the show notes. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that, but I really would like to send her a dick pic because wouldn't that be great? She really just needs to lighten up.
I think she might like that.
Yes, I know. Her and Karen can go at it. Go get them, Karen. Oh, okay. So let me know how you think that I should have handled it in the comments and or anything that I left out. And how would you have responded? Say you were offended by this. How would you have responded? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like if I sent something in my act that offended you, what would you have done? What you can do to help me out is please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Lisa Alvarado Comedian. You know why I'm asking you to do this? It's because my Instagram account was hacked. It was hacked, and Instagram doesn't give a shit about that because I appealed their decision. like 8 times. I proved who I was. I did the video thing. I put in my email. I reset my password. I sent them a picture of my driver's license. I even sent them a picture of my vag, and they still won't. Maybe I didn't shave right. I think that's what it was hairy. I don't. But so Instagram has closed my account. Lisa Alvarado Comedian on Instagram no longer exists. So I'm going to kind of give Instagram one of these guys right here, which if you're watching, you would know that I'm flipping in the bird. That is why you need to tune in and watch the podcast on Lisa Alvarado Comedian on YouTube. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to put some time into YouTube because why bother building up? I don't know. I didn't have very many, maybe 20,000 followers, but that still was a lot of fans and people that were following. I worked hard to build that.
Yeah.
And then they just pulled the plug.
Such a shame.
Because someone hacks your account and they don't even give you the benefit of the doubt. They only have
no
bots.
way of reaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. No one actually reached out to me and said,
yeah,
what's going on with your account? How do we help you?
Right.
Prove that it's you. Okay, I did 8 times. And they're
Right.
like, nope, deactivated. And all your content, gone. All your
Yeah.
pictures, all your videos that you worked so hard to post on here. See ya. Wow.
Probably not to them. They have it somewhere.
Wait, you know what? I think it was Karen-olyn. Karen-olyn probably contacted Instagram and got me knocked out for spanking. Damn it, Karen-olyn. You're too far into my life. All right. You guys were awesome. Thanks for laughing with me and listening to my story. Any advice you have for me, put it in the comments and I will get back to you. I promise. All right. We will see you in 2 weeks right here on Find the Funny with Lisa Alvarado. Thanks, guys.
I hope everybody listen to my daughter and see it and laughing on her because she is very funny.